Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your first Qt GUI widget application using Qt Creator. Now hopefully you have successfully downloaded and installed Qt Creator and Qt SDK on your Windows operating system, and now we are going to create our first Qt widget application, which is going to be a GUI application or graphical user interface application. So open your Qt Creator and go to Files here, and then click New File or Project. And in here you have different type of templates to choose with. So the first in the left you can see here is Application, and here you can create Qt Widget application, Qt Console application, or a Qt Canvas 3D application, which we are going to see in a moment. We are going to create a Qt Widget application right now, but let's see other templates. We can create C++ library or Qt Creator plugins using Qt Creator, or you can also create some other projects, something like Qt Unit Test or Qt Quick UI, or you can even choose this option, which is empty make project, which is also going to make a Qt application. Now if you want to make some non-Qt related application, something like C or C++ project, you can choose this option, which is non-Qt project, and in here you can see by default they have plain C application and plain C++ application. Qt comes with the built-in MinGW compiler, so it's going to use this MinGW compiler to compile or build your C or C++ applications. Or you can import some other projects from other repositories or other locations, right? So let's create a Qt widget application. So go to application, choose Qt widget application, and then click choose here, and then give the name to your project. For example, my first Qt, right? And then click next and leave everything as default here. You can see here we are using Qt 5.5 and MinGW compiler, right? And it's going to be a desktop application. So just click next, and now you can see when you create a Qt widget application, it's going to create some classes, or one class exactly, which is going to be a main window class. You can change the name of this class, but for now I'm going to leave the name as default, which is main window. And for this class, Qt Creator is going to create two files for us. One is the main window.h or header file, and the other is source file, which is main window.cpp file. In addition, the Qt Creator will also create a UI file for us, which is going to be our designer, in which we can design our Qt application. And this is going to be this file, which is main window.ui. So I'm going to leave everything as default, but keep in mind you can change the name of these classes and the header files. So just click next. And if you are using any kind of version control like subversion or some other version control, you can choose from here. Right now I don't have any version control, so I'm going to leave everything as default and then click finish. And it's going to create our project, right? Now this is our project directory on the left, and it's going to contain some folders and files. So we are going to go through each and every file. So just click the first topmost file, which is my first qt.pro file, and in here it's like a make file for your project. So in here you are going to add all the files which you are going to use in your project, or all the libraries which you are going to use in your project. So for example, we are using main.cpp and main window.cpp files as our source file, and our header file is main window.h. so it's a part of this header, and we are using one form file which is main window.ui. so it's the form, it's the part of the form, right? Our target is my first Qt, which is the name of our application. And these are some of the core files which Qt is going to use to build up our application, right? So in here you add your files and source files and libraries. Now we go to the header folder, and in here is going to contain this main window.header file, and the source folder it's going to contain main.cpp and main window.cpp, and in the form file you have your main window.ui. When you click this main window.ui, it's going to open this kind of design interface in which you can pick and place these widgets in this form and create your design, right? Once again, when you click the edit, you will go to the code behind of this UI designer, which is a XML file basically, and you can see it's looking like this. Now the main entry point of any C++ program is the main function, right? So Qt is also based on C++, so it's also going to start from the main function. So just go to the main.cpp file, and in here you can see this main function here. Now you can give the arguments for your application using this argc and argv. As you know, you can do it with C++ also. And the main class which is going to start the event loop for you is your Qt or Q application class, right? So it's like a main class which is going to start the event loop, which is going to listen any event of your application. So you just create an object of this Q application class, and it's going to take your argument if you want to pass any argument to your application, and then it calls this main window class. So you can then create an instance of main window, and then you can call this object dot show, which is going to start your main window, which is main window UI and main window class, right? And this exec is going to start your main event loop, which is created by your Q application instance. So let's go to our main window class, right? So using this we can start our main window UI. Okay, so first of all we are going to go to our main window.header, and you can see our class has right now a constructor which has one argument, which is Q widget parent, and destructor, right? So we are going to go to our CPP file, and we have one private variable which is UI. Using this UI instance, we can call any widget we are going to pick and place in our UI file. Okay, now when we go to our main window.cpp file, in here in the constructor you can see first thing in the constructor it's doing is it's initializing your UI with the new object of main window, and then in the constructor it's just calling this function called setup UI, which is going to basically set up your user interface. And when we close our application, it's going to call the destructor, and it's going to delete your UI object. So now let's create a hello world application, and let's see how it works. So go to this main window.ui file, which is going to open this designer, and from here, first of all, you can see here different kind of widgets according to the category. So just pick and place a push button from here, which is going to be something like a button. When we push it, is going to perform some action. And let's take a label from here. So just drag down, and in the display widget you can see this label. You can just drag and drop here, and you can resize it something like this. Okay, now every widget has its own property. So when you select this push button, and on the right hand side here, you can see some properties which you can change, right? So for example, you can see the object name is push button, and then you have some more properties, something like minimum size or maximum size or font. You can even change the font of this text from here, or you have tooltip, or you have other properties. So for example, I want to change the text of this button. I can change this text. So right now by default it has push button text, so I can change it to, for example, click me, and you can see this text is changed on the button, right? You can change this text also from this button. So double click on this button, and you can change this text from here also. For example, click me, right? And same with the label, it has its own properties, so you can change these properties from here. Okay, so for example, I don't want to show this text label on the label, so I am going to go to the property called text, and I'm going to delete this text from here, so it's blank right now. Now to perform some action, you just need to right click on the button and then go to slot. So just select this option which says go to slot, and then select the first option which is clicked. As the function says, it's when you click the button, is going to call this function clicked, and then it's going to perform the code inside this function. So click OK, which is going to create a new function in your main window.cpp, and in here this function is called whenever you press a button or click a button. So when we click a button, we want to set some text on our label. So how you can set the text on the label? You just call this UI object or instance. So just call UI, and then call the name of the widget. So let's go once again to our main window.ui and select your label here, and you can see the name of our label here, object name is labels. So here you can see all the names and properties of your widgets. So the name of our label is label. You can change the name from here. So for example, label 1 or label 2, but right now I'm going to leave it as default. So once again, I'm going to go to edit and main window.cpp, and we have called UI, and then by arrow pointer you just call this label variable name, right? And then you can call a method called set text. So just call a method called set text, and whatever argument you pass, it takes one argument basically, which is a string, and whatever string you write here, for example hello world, it's going to print this thing on the label, right? Now to compile your application, you can just go to build here, and you can click build all. It's going to build your application, so just click it, and you just need to save everything. So just click save all, and it's going to build your application. You can see on the right bottom this progress bar, and when this progress bar shows green, then it means that your application has been compiled successfully, and then you can run your application. To run your application, you need to click this green button here. So just click this green button and it's going to run your application. So now our widget application is running. So when you click this button, click me, is going to print hello world on your label. So this is how basically you can create your first Qt GUI widget application using Qt Creator. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.